Well, it has been one of those days at Talladega. For some, it's been exciting, and others, yeah, not so good. For the 31 of Jeff Burton and Dale Earnhardt Jr., they're out of it right now. The reason for our latest caution, Marcus Ambrose with damage to chase contender Kevin Harvick. And right now, as we get ready to go back to green flag racing, got to do a couple of things. One, there was 8 waiver rounds on the caution prior. That's what allowed Denny Hamlin to get into the lucky dog position. He is now back on the lead lap. 3 this time. And right now, let's talk about Joey Logano, because he's up front, but you don't like what you see on that right front.
No, they didn't change tires here, and he locked that up for quite a while. It could be flat spotted there, possibly blow out a tire.
Then Denny Hamlin, he has plenty of fuel, but then watch what happens. Everybody took a bath. And now, 3 more waiver rounds this time. Nemechek, McDowell, McCumbee, a total of 33 on the lead lap. And Tony Stewart is in the lucky dog position, just 1 lap down. Remember when he was 2 laps down? Here we go, green flag 5s. It's Logano, Kurt, and Kyle Busch, Truex, Menard, Montoya. We'll tell you that Kevin Harvick restarted in the 26th position. We'll keep tabs on him and see how the damage to the front of his Chevrolet works out.
See the 3 Toyotas up on the high side. The 2 Gibbs cars stretched it out a little bit on this restart.
You're wondering where Jimmy Johnson is right now? He is running in 26th position. He and Denny Hamlin are side by side.
4 wide through the tri-oval. Back down to 3 wide.
24 different leaders now as Joey Logano's got his name in the book. 77 lead changes. The record is 88. And we still have 42 laps remaining. 3 wide again.
Yeah, 42 laps of hard racing now. These guys have been patient really as long as they want to today.
Montoya giving Truex a push on the high side. Logano looking for help from his teammate from Kyle Busch, but they're not close enough. In fact, Kyle's getting a push more from Jeff Gordon. Gordon has finally moved himself into the front mix. He had been laying back most of the race. Down low, you see Kurt Busch with Paul Menard right behind him.
Jimmy Johnson and Denny Hamlin aren't in this first pack. They're back in this next little group that you'd see coming. They're really nose to tail, just hanging out, waiting a little bit longer before they decide to make their move.
They're thinking that something big's still to happen?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot. And there's no reason to wait back there all day and try to go now, because you're just going to possibly get yourself into something else. So you might as well wait a little bit longer. You've been patient this long. You can hang out a little longer.
We can tell you Kevin Harvick is running 18th right now. Johnson 29th, Hamlin 30th.
See, Jamie Murray getting ready to get lapped right here also. He's got quite a bit of damage from that previous, actually 2 cautions ago. Comes Kurt Busch.
And while all this goes on, let's bring in the pit studio guys. You got some observations down there?
Marty, down here with Rusty, Brad, and Ray. We've had 3 cautions, but everything's been relatively minor. All due respect to Jeff Burton, but we haven't had the big wreck yet. If you're inside these race cars, for those of you that have been there, if you're up on these pit boxes, are you getting more and more and more tense as we go?
I just personally feel the intensity building. I mean, I think these guys feel like they're running out of time. Take a look at a guy like Kevin Harvick, who's got a lot of damage on his car right now. He's like, man, I got to get back in the game. I got myself in a wreck. I got myself too far back here. If I was him, I'd be up in the wheel pretty hard. And right now he's in the 13th position. And the car looks like it's running good. Last time by the same speed as the leader, but what about Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon? These guys are hanging out in the back. They don't know what's going to happen yet. They're trying to think, Ray, when's the best time to go? I can feel these guys getting impatient also.
Well, I was listening to Dale Jarrett before, and nobody knows better than the driver. You and he, Rusty, as the race goes on, you're going to be less and less willing to give the guy in front of you a shot as it slides back, and the guys are going to be less and less patient. I don't know if there is a safe place to sit right now, because it seems like you could be in the back minding your own business and still get some damage on your race car.
Yeah, I just think, and for the guys who are in the chase, they're going to have to deal, obviously, with some very strong non-chase race cars as we close in on 38 laps to go. Martin Truex, very strong. Juan Montoya has been strong, qualified on the pole. And Joey Logano. They're going to have to deal with these guys, so it's going to be interesting to see how this all washes out.
Brad, one of my big questions, guys, when is go time? When is it time to really stand on it?
Well, that's right now for Kevin Harvick.
Front and stay up there.
Hooked up in that 2-car draft. Andy, I'm wondering, as much as they've had to tape up the nose on that 29 to Band-Aid it, if he's going to be able to stay tucked in that 2-car push with Clint Boyer and try and make a run later.
Well, I think they've got the opening big enough. They were working on that in the pits, but what you worry about is the ductwork being bent behind that. They didn't really get a good look at that, so he may end up having some overheating issues. But, man, this car's still running great after having a lot of damage.
He's up to 10th right now. And remember one thing, go back to April 2003. Dale Earnhardt Jr. won this race with a damaged race car.
Yeah, they did a nice job of repairing that, but I tell you, he's going to have to do a masterful job of driving when it comes down to the end here to get himself up somewhere inside the top 10.
You can see he's picked up 12 spots since the restart. Meanwhile, up front, it is Martin Truex Jr. with Juan Pablo Montoya, Joey Logano, Kurt Busch, and Matt Kenseth. That's right, Kenseth stayed out, got the wave around, got back on that lead lap, and here he is. As we've got a quick moment, we've caught up with Jeff Burton. Jamie Little has him.
Jeff Burton has been checked and released. And Jeff, you had a fast car. A lot of people wanting to draft with you today. Describe what it was like and what happened out there.
Yeah, we were really fast. We we had it worked out where we could push real well, and so a lot of people wanted to get pushed. But that's kind of how our year's gone. I had fast race cars and just can't seem to finish it off. When you push like that, that's bound to happen, and just stuff happens.
Dale Jr. made a beeline. He wanted to run back in there and talk to you. What did he have to say?
Oh, he just apologized for it. He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything wrong. We just didn't get lined up. It got a little hectic getting into 3, and I think I moved a little bit more than he thought I was going to move, and we just didn't get lined up right. But it won't be the last time it happens today. It might be one of the first, but it won't be the last.
Glad to see Jeff Burton smiling. Led 11 laps today, Marty.
And Jamie, we have debris on the racetrack, and there you can see the net result. That is why we are now under our 4th caution. And that's why we didn't interrupt, because we knew it wasn't anything serious as far as anybody getting into the wall or anything. So good to hear from Jeff, and he's managed to keep his spirits up despite the disappointment. All right, let's go back and we'll see exactly what happened.
Yeah, it looks like Marcus Ambrose has been running around out there with that damage. I think that's who that was. It came off of. We saw a bunch of stuff taped on a bunch of cars there, and that's what happens late in this race when you have a few of these wrecks. All this stuff starts falling off. Well, there goes Marcus. It must not have been him.
Well, A.J. Allmendinger will get the lucky dog. That'll give us 33 cars back on the lead lap. And now I guess my question to you guys is, you have 36 laps to go. What do you want to do, crew chief?
Well, as long as I can make it on fuel, I'll just stay out. The guys that are trying to run the back, they'll probably make a pit stop anyway. So yeah. This is not a critical decision right here.
No, I think Johnson and Hamlin come get 4 tires and make sure they got plenty of fuel in case this comes down to green-white checkers. They can stay out there and get track position then.
We'll find out what the call will be when pit road is open. As we said, just our 4th caution today. We've only had 13 laps so far under caution, and we have 36 remaining. A total of 9 chase contenders have led this race today among the 24 different leaders that we've had, and we've had a total of 78 lead changes.
I'm amazed at this guy right here, though.
This is. I mean, Harvick is up to the 6th position with all that damage. And we talk about so much with the crew chiefs yesterday that you basically have your race car, whatever it is, when you come, that's it. And let's send it down to Jamie with the 18.
And the 18 was debating whether or not to take 2 or 4. The right side, you see him rolling the tires from the wall. It is going to be 4 tires for Kyle Busch, Dave.
Jimmy Johnson wants to come back down for 4 tires and a load of Sunoco fuel. They're talking about maybe working a little bit more on that right rear, fixing that damage back there as well. Vince?
The 11 car of Denny Hamlin did not take tires. They just took fuel and also 1 round out of the right rear.
That may be one of the few wedge adjustments we've heard about today.
Yeah, usually it's not a handling racetrack, so they don't make a lot of chassis adjustments here.
All right, so Kevin Harvick stays out. Is that a good or a bad decision? Because the other 2 in the top 3 contending places for the chase both came in. We'll discuss that topic when we come back with 35 laps to go here at Talladega. Under our fourth caution gives us time to tell you about the NHRA Las Vegas Nationals tonight at 9 Eastern on ESPN. And then NASCAR Now, the post-race edition tonight on ESPN2 at 11:30 Eastern. The Roundtable tomorrow at 5 Eastern on ESPN2. And the NASCAR Nationwide Series back in action, Texas, noon Eastern Saturday on ESPN2. And then Sprint Cup Series presented by GoDaddy.com next Sunday on ESPN at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. All right, so you're on board with Denny Hamlin. He pitted, as did Jimmy Johnson, but the 29 of Kevin Harvick did not.
Yeah, I think that's a mistake because they've got all that damage in the front, and we saw some of that stuff fly off of another car a while ago. That's what brought this caution out, and this was an opportunity they could have used to come down pit road to fix that car. Doc, why didn't they come down?
Well, Andy, it's a scenario you've seen time and again as a crew chief. Now, Gil Martin wanted him to bring the car in. They wanted to come in and work on the car, like you said, because the car is good, but not good enough by itself. And Kevin wanted to stay on the racetrack and stay near the front. I think there'll be more caution flags, but maybe they'll get him on pit road later. But for now, he sits sixth.
We go back to green flag racing as you finish up, Doc, with Truex, Montoya, Logano, Kurt Busch, Harvick, Kenseth, all up front. Logano giving the 42 of Montoya a push. Truex getting help from Kurt Busch. Bowyer and Matt Kenseth have hooked up. Look at Kenseth. There they go. Remember, Kenseth was a letdown. Look out. That cut it close. Bowyer.
Yeah, that was too close right there. Bowyer sliding up in front of those guys.
Yeah, he was fortunate. I think Montoya gave him a break, and Logano didn't get in the back of Montoya.
Okay, so we're all breathing again, and this time by, there'll be 32 laps to go.
That's a couple tight spots we've seen Bowyer in, sliding up in front of the leaders.
You'll find out that those guys won't be quite so courteous here in just a few more laps.
3 wide. That's Denny right there in the middle of it with Kyle Busch. They have finally hooked up, the two teammates.
You can see those cowl flaps up there at the base of the windshield. When these cars get really close together, it changes that pressure under the hood. You see them flapping. No big deal.
See David Reagan in the 6. He jumped out trying to get these guys to help push him. Goes back on the lead lap, but they've got better ideas. They want to go straight to the front.
Hamlin and Kyle Busch, they are making a push for the front right now. They're shown in 10th position. Jimmy Johnson all the way back in 28th.
These guys hooked up in practice the other day, and they were able to go a long way. See if they can get all the way to the front.
Now Clint pulls down.